Hey guys, today I'm down in Southern California taking a look at the 2024 Honda Passport. This is the 2024 Passport Trailsport, but it is not quite what some Honda fans had been hoping for. When you take a look at it, it's obvious this is the 2023 Passport with some updates for 2024. It is not an entirely new model, which means this does not get the new interior and new changes that we see in the new Honda Pilot. Some folks had been hoping that this would become a two-row new Pilot. That is not what's going on. Let's take a look at some of the details. You'll notice that we have the same LED headlights that we found in 2023. The front end has not changed at all, actually, for 2024. So still Trailsport badging right there, the Trailsport grille, still lots of ground clearance. We have the turn signals down there low on the bumper. There is going to be some additional accessory coverage from Honda. So if you want factory skid plates, you can get those in the Trailsport. Those are coming soon. I don't have all the details just yet. For instance, I don't know if it includes a tow hook at this point in time, but you can get a factory skid plate setup. There are going to be some additional off-roading accessories. The 2024 changes for the Trailsport model are mainly down here in the wheel wells, where we now find an all-terrain tire on all Trailsport models. This is a General Grabber all-terrain sport, and we find a changed suspension. They've changed the tuning and the damper tuning of the suspension, likely to make this a little bit better for off-roading, but Honda has not provided all the suspension change details. Other than that, the rest of this is basically the same as the previous Trailsport. Same body, same windows, same roof rails up there. You will be able to get this in the new Trailsport exclusive blue paint job we find in the Pilot. I think that's going to look really good on the Passport design. Moving around to the rear, again, no major changes back here. So the Trailsport model still has the big Trailsport badge. We have the black trim, the dual exhausts down there, and these partial LED taillight modules. The turn signals remain incandescents. If you want to tow with your Trailsport, towing is still going to come in at 5,000 pounds, thanks to the standard all-wheel drive system on the Trailsport model, and of course the torque vectoring rear axle. That's definitely been a big advantage to the functionality of the Passport in the past, and I expect that to be taken to the next level with the inclusion of these all-terrain tires. As you know, off-road performance is not just about all-wheel drive capability. It's also about suspension tuning, being able to really handle those bumpy off-road trails for a while. So this suspension update is probably going to help with that. The tires are going to help with that as well, because all-wheel drive systems without grip are not really useful at all, so we have that improved traction there. Under the hood, we find the same engine as before. It's a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, and we find the same 9-speed automatic transmission we had last year. Some folks had been hoping this would receive a transmission update, get the 10-speed automatic from the Pilot and some of the other recent Honda models. Unfortunately, that has not happened. This still has the somewhat controversial ZF 9-speed automatic. Personally, I don't mind it too much, although the Honda 10-speed is an absolutely fantastic transmission, and it certainly is smoother in the Pilot. Let's take a look at the interior now. The seating has not changed for 2024, so we still find the same driver and front passenger seats, still plenty of room. One logical reason to get the Passport over something like the Subaru Outback is that we have better all-wheel drive performance, but we also have a more SUV-like interior, where we have this, big boxy interior. With this seat down here, I have about 4 inches of headroom left, lots and lots of headroom in the Passport, also a reasonable amount of legroom, and that's because the roofline is considerably higher than something like the Outback. So again, those boxier SUV proportions. Back here in the rear, it is definitely dark in this black on black on black interior. We get some nice touches like reclining rear seats. Again, lots and lots of headroom back here. No panoramic moonroof. We still just have the regular standard sized moonroof. A little bit disappointed by that. I kind of wish we got a bigger panoramic unit. But scooting all the way over to this side, you'll notice that we have rear seat sunshades. That's a nice touch. Cup holders integrated into the doors. That's not my favorite location to put them, but we also have 2 cup holders right here in the center armrest. So for the 3 people back here, we have 6 cup holders. We also have air vents, charge ports, and now USB-C charge ports back here for the rear seat passengers. And apparently these are high current USB-C charge ports. You'll also find a new USB charge port up front. Obviously, one long-standing reason to buy the Passport over a lot of the competition is the cargo area. And that's because when creating the Passport, Honda essentially took the previous generation Pilot, they didn't shrink it a whole lot, and they deleted the 3rd row. So we have this absolutely massive cargo area back here. In fact, it is so large I can barely reach the back of the cargo area. So if you want to take 5 people and all of their luggage somewhere, this is really the car to do it in. We also have a temporary spare tire under the load floor. That should give you an idea of how much space there is going on back here, because that temporary spare is occupying relatively little of this underfloor area. And then you can even remove this plastic divider and get even more storage if you want to. And that's also removable and cleanable. We of course have the power hatch back there as well. Since this is just a refresh, the bulk of the interior did not change for 2024, so much of the dashboard design is the same. As I said before, that means that we still have the pretty standard sized moonroof just over the front row. There's Travis, who's running our EV channel back there in the rear. How much headroom do you have back there?
About 3 or 4 inches.
About 3 or 4 inches. That's not too bad back there. High adjustable shoulder belts, Trailsport logo, of course, there on the headrests. Leather upholstery in this particular model. Since this does not use the interior from the new Pilot, we don't have the new more premium materials up front. So there still are a few more hard touch plastics than I would like up here. We also get the same infotainment system and same infotainment software that we had before in the center console. We also have the 3-zone climate controls right there, but below we have some updates. We have a USB-C charge port. They've moved the Qi wireless charging mat here so that we could put 2 phones side by side. It should also accommodate some of those larger smartphones a little bit more easily. And then they've redesigned the center console to make it wider and more accommodating. We still have the push button shifters there, but we now have bigger cup holders able to accommodate larger water bottles and a different armrest right there for the center console. It is wider than before, giving us a much larger storage area that's going to be a little bit easier to access as well. So if you want to put larger tablet computers, things like that there inside, they claim a 10 or 11-inch tablet will actually fit in that center console now. The steering wheel is essentially the same one as the previous generation Pilot, so it's a 4-spoke unit. We find infotainment controls on the left side, cruise controls over there on the right side, and we find the same relatively small LCD instrument cluster over there behind the steering wheel, flanked by some analog gauges on each side. According to Honda, the 2024 Passport is going to go on sale a little bit later in calendar year 2023, but they have not announced any pricing details just yet. The existing Passport starts at $41,400, plus, of course, tax, title, license, and the destination charge. How much will this set you back? We honestly don't know at this point, but you can expect at least a modest price increase for 2024. It's probably not going to be an enormous increase, perhaps except for the Trailsport model where we get the upgraded all-terrain tires and the revised suspension tuning, etc., because again, the changes are fairly modest for 2024. That's likely going to keep this towards the expensive side of the 2-row midsize SUV segment in North America. Not as expensive as a Grand Cherokee, but certainly a bit more expensive than the Subaru Outback. Let me know what you think about that. I've always thought that the extra price tag of the Pilot was worth it because we get an absolutely enormous interior, especially in the back. Since they basically just borrowed the interior from the 3-row Pilot and then deleted that 3rd row and massaged things around back there, we have a lot of legroom in the rear and a huge cargo area in the back. Some 2-row entries in this segment, they move the 2nd row pretty far rearward, really cramping that cargo area in the back. Honda went the opposite direction, making the cargo area huge and leaving 2nd row space somewhat similar to the previous generation Pilot. I'm sure at some point in time the Passport and the Ridgeline are going to get a next generation. We just don't know exactly when that will be. Let me know your thoughts on the 2024 Passport. Has Honda done enough? Will the additional accessories that are going to be available from Honda sway you to get one of these instead of the competition? I am intrigued by the optional skid plate package that Honda is going to be bringing. They're also going to be bringing an additional catalog of accessories available for off-roading in the Trailsport trim that may also be applicable to the non-Trailsport models. Let me know what you think about all that down there in the comment section. And if you want to get your hands on one of these, reach out to your Honda dealer soon because they should be on sale a little bit later this fall.